we wanted to share the natural beauty of the incredible country of Kenya with you while setting the stage for a mission trip to Africa, where we observed and assisted Maggie Frederick and her Kenyan staff as they minister God's love, bringing life and hope to the families of Kwanjinga slum in Nairobi. Their determination to love as the Father loves frees women and children from the pervasive sex trade found in the slums, setting them free physically, mentally, spiritually, and preparing them to live a life in Christ, fully restored to dignity. Welcome to Kwanjinga Slum. It's not really the best place to ride, drive a car, or even walk for that matter. But this is the way you get around. It's called Piki Piki. You're on the back of a motorcycle, and you can get anywhere you want to go for $1. The people are awesome, and Jesus is to be found many places in that city. But it's not a place where things come easy. You buy water and then carry 45-pound containers home. There's no trash pickup, no restaurants to speak of, and you walk everywhere, and you carry everything. Everything. I mean everything. It's a place where children play near open sewage, sometimes even in it. It's a place where you have a home that's 10 by 10, hooked onto other 10 by 10 homes. But you're happy to have that. Maggie and her staff spend their time setting up businesses and windows, roadside stands, even building fruit markets for mothers, so they can help themselves and help their children and live prosperous lives, free from the sex trade. 75% of the people in Nairobi live in the slums. They've come to the city from the villages, seeking a better life. Instead, they found poor conditions where you pay $50 for that 10 by 10 room. And each one of the buildings that you see may have 10 families under that roof, maybe 20. It was a hard life, no electricity, no running water, no plumbing. And then the Chinese offered to build a road for the Kenyan government from the airport to the downtown area. And it went right through the slums. And this happened. What you see is the result of 70,000 people being displaced from their homes. Without warning, they came through with bulldozers and men with clubs, and they smashed everything in sight. Steve, who is one of Maggie's employees, came home one day to find a bulldozer sitting where his house used to be. All of his belongings were inside. In the middle of all the rubble remained a building that was Maggie's office. It's virtually a lighthouse in a sea of disaster. In the midst of all that despair, there is hope. They're trying to rebuild. These men are building a structure that will house 10 or 20 families. Families like Joyce and her boys. She can continue to support her family working with On Eagle's Wings. On Eagle's Wings is needed now more than ever by mothers like Galvincia, whose son Winsley was only 1 month old. They were on the street, they had nowhere to go, and then Maggie took her in. All of these mothers had such amazing stories of what God was doing in their lives through On Eagle's Wings. After the destruction, Rose slept for 4 nights on rubble with her 4 children. nowhere to go. With God's help, Maggie is lifting these mothers and their children out of despair. Helping teens to smile again. Giving kids an opportunity to just, be kids. Giving babies and children a chance to thrive and not just to be alive. A chance to smile again. A chance to just be kids. While we were there, we didn't see anyone but Maggie and her staff working in the slum. These guys are all business. Well, mostly business. Seriously though, they're well trained and carry God's grace.
We miss you very much.
On Eagle's Wings' newest project is helping a group of ladies who live in a remote village, 24 women with over 100 kids, including 12 orphans that they've taken in. They live modestly at best, but are full of hope and joy. They live in a community that has gentlemen farmers like Kashmir, elders like this man, and godly women who love the Lord. On Eagle's Wings' newest project is to help these women have successful businesses. Here are the faces of some of the orphans that they care for. These ladies can hardly feed themselves and their families, and still they take in orphans. For the last 4 years, Maggie and On Eagle's Wings has been feeding this group of ladies. At the end of the dry season, there's no food left. They're gracious and grateful for all the support. The word says that God adds to his kingdom daily, but I say it's really fun being there when it happens. On one day, we saw 23 baptisms. We saw young men come to Christ, and we saw people delivered from drugs. We witnessed prodigals, young and old alike, coming back to Christ. I wish that all of you could experience these kids the way we did, to see their hopes and their dreams, to see the chance that they might even be able to rise out of poverty and become productive citizens, changing this country that they live in. It's also amazing to see what 50 pair of sunglasses can do. We had an opportunity to not only see who these kids were, but who they wanted to be. They do have aspirations. They want to be doctors, lawyers, psychologists, artists, police officers. You name it, they have the dream. Every one of these lives matter. All these kids are precious. You gotta love those faces. Maggie and her crew are just doing an incredible job. We're thankful for what they do, thankful for what they're doing for the mothers. And over it all is Jesus. And I got to think that he's smiling.